Hello, and welcome to Elders Climate Action, everything you need to know about Google to solve your woes in Google. So I'm going to go through all the different sections of Google that we utilize regularly for Elders Climate Action, starting with Gmail. Gmail is the nexus of everything that we do at ECA and is a primary form of communication for us. So I want to give you a few tips and tricks of how to utilize your Gmail a little bit better. Excuse me. And then we're going to move on to Google Calendar, Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides. And then later I will do another webinar about Google Forms and how to utilize Google Forms. But it's a little bit more intensive, so I'll keep that one separate. So today we're going to start off with Gmail. Let me just share my screen and then we can get started. And now you should be seeing my screen. I'm going to go ahead and open up a Google window. So I'm going to start from the basics here, and hopefully we'll all learn a lot in this process. The first thing that we need to know about Google is when we see this Google search window, we want to double check and make sure that we're logged into the correct account. So I know that the green J means that I'm in my eldersclimateaction.org account. I might have multiple accounts, and actually I typically do have 4 or 5 accounts showing up here, but this is a new computer and I haven't set up all those accounts on this computer. So it's clean. So I know that the green J is my identity in my Elders Climate Action account. So I can just look for that and make sure that that's there. Then when I click on mail, I am going to end up in my ECA email. One of the greatest features about ECA email or Gmail is this drop-down arrow that is next to the search box or the search button. That helps you navigate your ECA email very, very easily. It is a way that you can search from specific people, from specific organizations. You can search specific subject headings. Maybe you're trying to find something that you sent, so you could search from your sent mail and who you've sent to. But one thing I know that I get asked a lot is I can't find the newsletter, or I can't find the last constant contact that we sent out. So that's sent out from Elders Climate Action. It's also sent out from the email info@eldersclimateaction.org. So I could search those. And so let's start with Elders Climate Action and hit search. So this shows me, I'm the administrator on all the constant contact emails. So this shows me a lot of drafts and various other emails that have been sent from constant contact. But here is the last email that was sent from constant contact, which was a donation request or an appeal. Maybe I'm looking for the newsletter. So maybe I want to actually search has the words newsletter. And here I see that here's our December newsletter. So that's a way that we can get through email and finding things from one another very, very easily. If we were better at using good search or good subject headings, we could search by subject heading. But a lot of times I find that doesn't work out very well. So it's easier to search by maybe has the words or just from. So for example, maybe I want to see things from a specific email. So let's look at info at, so this would be like from a specific person. I could do this from Jerry Friedman or from Shirley McGrath, or, I could search that way, but let's just do info at, and we'll search everything that has been sent from info at Elders Climate Action. So again, a lot of those things show up as Elders Climate Action, but they also, for me, show up as info at ECA because I am getting forwarded messages from that info at account. So that's a great way to utilize where you're searching and who you're searching from. You'll notice that it's searching my inbox from info at It could search, and that's because I specifically set it to inbox in this drop down, but I could also search just from, and that's going to pull from trash, it's going to pull from junk, it's going to pull from anything. So typically, if you are searching all mail, as it says here, then you're going to see just from colon and then your email. If you just did a regular search and said info at, or let's do a better one, let's say Shirley. So Shirley, if I just did a basic search for Shirley, I'm going to see everything that Shirley has been involved in. So things from her, things to her, anything that she's been CC'd in, any of that. So a better way to search for Shirley is to go from here and go to Shirley. And now I'm going to see things specifically from Shirley. Okay? So that is a great way to navigate your Gmail account. It's very, very helpful, and it will definitely make your life a lot easier and less frustrating if you navigate this way. So I highly encourage it. Let's move on to Calendar. Calendar, again, is nested under your Google 9 boxes in the upper right corner here. And that is a great tool for keeping connected. It's sort of the connection between us in another way. So Calendar, everybody that's part of Elders Climate Action that has an ECA email account has been invited to be a part of the master calendar. So if you look at your calendar, you're going to see in the left column, My Calendars. You might see a list of calendars with your calendars selected for what you're viewing, and you'll see I have pink and green. Pink is me, green is Elders Climate Action. If you don't see that listed, click the drop down, and that will expose the calendars that you're seeing here. So that is a really easy way to see the inner workings of Elders Climate Action, what meetings are happening, what's happening on Zoom, because all of our meetings happen on Zoom, so you can see if Zoom is backed up today. But today we have a communications meeting at 3 p.m. It's in the calendar twice accidentally. But here I can find the link to the communications meeting. Almost, I would say 99.99999% of our meetings are this address right here. Every once in a while there's an oops and a meeting gets scheduled to a different address. But for the most part, this address is going to be the meeting call link. And that is a live link. You can click on it and it will take you into wanting to open Zoom. I'm going to cancel it out because it will mess up our training here. So if you click on this link, you will connect to Zoom and it will launch the Zoom application and you'll enter the call. So that's a very easy way to find the meetings. And again, just go to the master calendar, find the day and the meeting. There's 2 more meetings today, so admin and coordinating council. So click on whatever meeting, and then you'll find the link from there. But like I said, the link is pretty consistently the same. So once you have that link, you can pretty much go to any calendar item and grab that link and get into a meeting that you need to get into. Very, very helpful, the utilizing the ECA master calendar. But the one thing is you do see everything that is in the master calendar. So you are going to see that. If you don't want to see it, click it off. And now I see just my own stuff in my calendar. Okay? So the next place we'll go is let's go to Google Drive. Google Drive is the repository for all things that we do in Google. So if we're working on Google Docs, we're working in Google Sheets or Google Slides, those items live in Google Drive. So they will be housed here in this filing cabinet of information, if you will. So you can see there's a slide presentation. Here's some audio files. You can upload video files to to Google Drive. Here are Word files. Word files only become really usable until when you open them in Google Docs. So once you open a Word file in Google Docs, and I'll show you that in just a second, it becomes a Google Doc. And that's the file that you want to share and utilize is the doc file. So anything that's a Word file, you want to change that into a Google Doc file as soon as possible. Sometimes the formatting gets a little wonky, so it might require just a hair of cleanup. But if you're hoping to use it collaboratively, it will need to be a Google Doc. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But you also see PDFs, you see forms. This purple icon is forms, the red icon PDF. So these are all files down here. These are all folders. And then there are things that I've done recently. Another area of Drive is your Shared With Me. And Shared With Me shows me things that, that you guys have shared with myself. If you went to yours, you would see things that I have shared with you or perhaps others in ECA have shared with you. So these are things that have shared with me this week, things that have been shared earlier in the year or older. And then recent. Recent is really helpful. Recent is where you find the things that you've done today, where you find the things that you've done this week, so on and so forth. So that helps distill down your Drive. So if you're looking for something you know you just worked in, go to recent and you'll find it a lot quicker. But the other way that you can find things in Google Drive is to actually search for them in the search bar, just like you did in email. So let's, for example, let's say I want to find the Communications Committee folder. So I'm going to look down here in this list until I find the folder. And the folder is, for me, it's a blue folder. And so I open up that folder. And here I see the Communications Committee folder. I can see that it's shared. If I hover over this button, the little icon of people, I can see who it's shared with. It's shared with all of these different committees. Most of those committees are view only. Only the Communications Committee can edit. And that's because the Communications Committee, this is their folder. But we're transparent in the way that we want everybody to be able to see what we're doing, so all the other committees. So everybody has visual, the ability to view, but not edit, except for communications. All of the folders and files that live under Communications Committee folder are all shared with those individuals. So automatically, anytime I put a folder or a file into this folder, it's going to be shared with all the individuals in the Communications Committee. So it's a very easy way to have all of your resources and all your information and work collaboratively in one location. And I'll show you more about working collaboratively in just a second. If you want to add a new folder, then you would just click New and add a new folder. This folder is automatically going to be embedded under Communications Committee, because that's the folder that I'm in. So let's just call this, let's say photos. We don't have that folder in this particular communications folder. So now I've just created a new folder called photos. So now let's say I want to upload a photo to put in that folder. Let's upload something to go in there. So we're going to go File, Upload, and I can either click into that folder and it's going to automatically move in, but I'm going to let it drop into this Communications Committee folder, and then I'm going to move it. So I can show you that. So let's say, let's put this image. And now I have this JPEG image that just uploaded, and it tells me upload is complete, and I can see it right here. So now I'm just going to drag and drop it into that photos folder. It's going to come up with this warning, but I don't have to worry because I'm moving things around within the Communications Committee folder. Anybody in the Communications Committee is going to still retain access to that item, no matter where I put it within that folder. So I'm just going to click OK. And now I can just double click and see that there's my, my image I just uploaded to that photos folder. I can go back to Communications Committee here. So now, we've created a folder, we've uploaded a file. Let's go ahead and upload a Google Doc, or start a Google Doc. So we're just gonna go to Google Docs, and we can go to this drop arrow and say blank document, or we can just click on Google Docs, it doesn't really matter. And yes, we wanna create it and share it to this folder. Now we have our Google Doc, and let's say we want to start a list of, let's say, photo credits. Maybe this is just like image info for certain pictures, and so we can say like file name file name photo1 is Jen at her computer. I'm just making something up. Okay, so I have this document. If I click up here on untitled document, it's going to automatically save the first sentence of my document as the title name. It also told me right there that it lives in the communications committee folder. That's where I want it to go. And so now I have this document. This document will tell me that all of the changes, it saves automatically as you're typing. So you don't have to worry about saving. You don't have to worry about not saving a document and closing it, which I know has happened to all of us at least once. And so what you're gonna do is to see your revision history or to make changes, go back, revert, you can do undo just like you do in Docs, but it retains a complete history of the document for you. So you know that you have a backup. If other people get in here and start editing, and I'll show you a document that's been well edited. Let's go to something let's go to this document. So things that have been edited by individuals, you can see those edits as you go. And you can also look at the revision history of that document, and you can see every revision that has been made. Every time somebody, Shirley or Jen or anybody Jerry has made a revision in this document, you can see those changes. You can revert back to those versions. So it's a very, very nice tool for collaboration. So how to do that, the best way to do that is you need to check the mode you're in. If you're in editing mode, that typically means you're the owner of the document and that you are the one that is making the edits to that document. You want other people who are looking at your document to be in suggesting mode, because then they are suggesting the changes to you, but the changes aren't actually happening immediately to that document. So bear with me for just a second. I need to adjust my leg. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so the changes that you're making within the document will be seen by everybody else. And so you want one person to be the editor of that document, and you want everybody else to be suggesters on the document. Otherwise, it can confuse the process and you don't understand what's been edited and what hasn't been. So when you are suggesting, you do things like, say, I want to cut out this first sentence. If I'm in suggesting mode, then I can highlight that section and I can hit delete. And it'll say that I am suggesting that we do this. And then I'm suggesting that this replaces it, okay? So I'm suggesting that this is what this should read. And I'm saying that we should cut that out. Then that item becomes, it can be accepted or it could be rejected. If I accept it, replaces it, becomes what this sentence says. If I reject it, it goes back to normal. So we'll just reject it. You can see that we can put in comments, we can put in changes. Sometimes you just want to put in a comment rather than an actual change. So maybe there's a word that you're just not sure, like, I don't know about, I'm not sure about this word. Let's put in a comment here. So I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to hit the comment box and I'm going to say maybe another word. And so I just made a suggestion to everybody else in the group that's seeing this, that maybe we should use another word other than accomplish, okay? Now, the person who's the editor, they're going to choose whether to resolve this or whether this is still up for discussion. We're going to resolve it because we don't need to discuss it. It was a silly thing. So that's how, sometimes this is October newsletter, so obviously some of these things didn't get changed until the final version of the newsletter that went out. But it's an easy way to be editing in a document. So again, you want to look up here in the upper right. You want yourself to be in suggesting mode if you're commenting on somebody else's document. If you're in, if you are the owner of the document, you want to be in editing mode. That way that any changes that you make happen directly into the document. They don't turn green and have this little box, or don't turn a color and have this little box. What's really neat about Google Docs is that you can have multiple people working on a document simultaneously, and what you'll see is little icons up here at the top that represent each people. So a letter will show up and you'll know, okay, Grady's in here, Jerry's in here, Shirley's in here, and we're all editing at the same time. And you can see those live edits happening. You can see where their cursor is in the page, it moving around the page, and you can see their comments pop up in live time. And it's very, very helpful. It sometimes is really nice to get on there and just hammer something out with multiple people simultaneously. So that is, that's a really, Google Docs is a really helpful tool, and it's really useful to use in replacement of Microsoft Word. So especially for the collaboration, rather than starting a Word document, just go to your Google Docs and start a doc in your committee folder. And that way everybody can see it, everybody can comment on it, and it can be an active and engaged document. So let's see, again, let's go back to, we had this photo image credit document. So let's just go ahead and double check and make sure that that image photo credit, yep, image photo credits right here, that document made it into our folder. And now we can put that document, we'll put that document up here in the photos folder. So we just organized it a little bit. Now there's multiple ways that you can access Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides, but if you want those docs, sheets, and slides to be nested within a specific folder, the best way is to go through Drive, and then that way you don't have to move it around, you don't have to go and find it and then move it. You just go to Google Drive, go to the folder you want it to be in, create the doc, the sheet, upload the file, whatever, and put it in here. If you have something, say in your Drive, let's look at a list view of Drive. Say there's something in Drive here. Let's just pick, let's pick this audio file. Why not? Let's move this audio file into the communications folder. So I'm just going to pick the audio file. I click on it, and then I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to say move to. And this is how you can move things to that to those folders if you didn't put them in the folder originally. So communications committee folder, double click, and then I'm going to put that in. Let's just put it in photos, and I'm going to say move. And I'm going to say okay. So that just got moved over into, it tells me right here it's been moved, and it just got moved over into that communications committee folder. So if you have something that's in your Drive or something that's shared with you and you want to move it to your own Drive, or you want to move it to your like here, let's move this folder from Hazel. We're going to add that to my drive. So I'm just going to add that to my drive, and now it's going to show up in my drive, Arizona Climate Pledges. So when I go to look for Arizona Climate Pledges, I know where they are. Very easy. So, so when you do things directly out of Drive, Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, you can put it into a folder easier. So like we're in the communications folder and we went to Google Docs and Sheets. If you go over here to the 9 boxes, it's just gonna drop that doc sheet slide that you make into into my drive. So when you go to look for it, you'll just have to come look for it in my drive or in recent to find it. It won't put it in a specific, it won't automatically move it to a specific folder unless you set it up that way in the program itself, the app itself. So let's go ahead and do something in Sheets. Let's put something in Sheets in communications folder again. And I'm picking on the communications folder today. Sheets, so we're gonna create and share in a shared folder and say this is, the sheet is, let's say ECA chapter leaders. And then we can put chapter leader name, leader name, let's say phone, email, so on and so forth. So we can go ahead and build out an Excel file, however we want to do it, whatever we want to do. That file is automatically shared with everybody that's in the communications folder because we did it through Drive, through the communications folder. But if you just went in through the 9 boxes and created it, you're gonna have to go ahead and share it with people, or you're gonna have to move it to a folder that's shared, one of the two. But same thing as in Google Docs is you have your Drive, all tracked changes. So all of your changes are tracked. People can still make comments, and you can see those comments. You can open that comments thread and see all of those comments that have been made inside the sheet. Again, here's the comment box. Insert the comment. And it's pretty user forward, and it's very similar to Microsoft Excel. So very easy to use Google Sheets. Again, that Google Sheets, we can close this out. We can go back to the communications folder, and we're gonna see here's ECA chapter leaders. So we just created that, and it was nested into that folder. Let's, one last thing let's do is let's go ahead and do a slide presentation. So let's create and share our Google Slides. And same thing here, we can title it, let's just say test pres, and we can click to add a title, test pres for ECA and climate matters. Yay. We can put a background on there if we want. We can use these different templates just like you have when you're working in PowerPoint. And then same thing to present, you can present, you can have a presenter view with speaker's notes and all of that, or you can change your presentation, but you can also share it with and have comments, and then you can automatically share it. So again, it was built under that communications committee folder. So it's automatically shared with those 6 people, it says, although in this case, it's actually shared with 6 committees. Those committees just appear to be people to it. But it's shared with all the individuals in those different committees. So you have all your changes are saved in your version history, and you have all the features that you have in PowerPoint. You can add images and diagrams and all of those kinds of things. You can add a slide very easily, change the backgrounds and add transitions and do all those wonderful things that you can do in any PowerPoint. So Google apps are really a very, very useful tool for just about anything and everything you need to do, and without having to buy software. It's all free. It's all online, cloud-based. It's not saving it to your hard drive. It's saving it into the cloud. But when you go to print things out of Google, you do need to download them before they're actually printable. It automatically prompts you to download. If you're, say, you want to print out a Google Doc, it will automatically download the file for you to print it out. So that's the one thing, is it does download to print, because it's mostly meant to be basically online information. Any questions that you all have, feel free to send to me. You can email me, Jen Chandler, or jenc@eldersclimateaction.org, or ask them on the next coordinating council call. But this was kind of the crash course in how to utilize Google and hopefully simplify your life a little bit, and simplify collaborations between all of our wonderful committees that are out there trying to do so much good out in the world. So hopefully this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. Bye-bye.